Warmly welcome to Exploring Miracles. I am exploring the lessons in A Course in Miracles, and I am doing my best to reflect on the lessons as I go with the text. And today we have come to lesson number 119. We are still in the review part, and that's good, for me at least, as this inner state it needs to be very solid to be able to understand and take in and be coming what the rest of the lessons of A Course in Miracles will give us. So let's dive into it. The two lessons that we are reviewing now will be 107 and 108. 107 here. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. And the deeper explanation of this statement is, I am mistaken when I think I can be hurt in any way. I am God's son, whose self rests safely in the mind of God. A bit of analysis of this. Truth will correct all errors in my mind. Truth, as we know in the Course in Miracles, is the true self. And what is the true self? The true self is the knowledge, what we are in truth. That's an aspect of God, or a part of the divine. We should make no mistakes, or, as it says here, errors, to believe, as we might have done earlier, that we are something else but that. I mean, the mind and all the reactions and what comes from reactions. Very often we become judgmental and we become colored by the ego self that is not in a very forgiving or loving mood always. It is not to be trusted that much, because something happens and then we go, okay. But the true self is solid. So the truth will correct all errors in my mind. So in one way, it's very simple. When I know as a human being that I'm not the human being with reactions and all that, the mind is something and the other is the truth, then by itself all errors, the mistaken belief that I am the other, my knowledge, my reactions, my da-da-da-da, then it will correct itself. So I'm mistaken when I think I can be hurt in any way. The ego is always agile and always protecting something. On the bigger level, on the smaller level, it can be so subtle. So we think that no, my ego is all right. It's a good ego because it solves problems and all that. Yeah. But it's still not the truth of us. So we are mistaken when we rely on it, because every ego, I dare say, is carrying the belief that it can be threatened. The true self can never be threatened. So I am God's son or daughter or child whose self rests safely in the mind of God. So we can just relax. I hope that made it clearer. I'm talking to myself. I took part of something the other day according to this. Very, very insightful. I will try um, uh, to mention it correctly now. The mind, the ego, the mind. The ego, the mind can be witnessed by the self in us. That is what we are learning when we meditate and when we do this mindful practices, and very much here in the Course in Miracles. But play with it. Can the mind witness the self, the place inside that is truth, that is still, that is beyond words, that is light, love, that is what is? Can the mind in me witness that? Nice practice, I think. Been playing with that for a couple of days now, and I think I have the answer. The answer is that the self can witness the mind, but in my case, not the other way around. So then I know what is what. I hope I didn't mess things up here. Now we go to lesson number 108. Review. To give and to receive are one in truth. To give and to receive are one in truth. Deeper meaning, I will forgive all things today, that I may learn how to accept the truth in me and come to recognize my sinlessness. I don't know if I become any wiser by this, but I think, because it says in the text, to give and to receive are one in truth, as I understand this, is when I am peace, when I am love, when I am, for example, appreciation, when I am this light, when I am the aspect of God, then that is what I have, that is what I am, that is what I radiate, that is what I give, and I cannot lose those things. So what I give and I receive is the same. I will forgive all things today, and forgiving in A Course in Miracles is the ultimate being of atonement, beyond every reaction, every judging thought and all that. And when I accept the truth in me, as it says here, and I recognize that I am not the errors that I might have been in, might think that I've been in, now I have another way of perceiving, without flaws, without sin. I haven't missed I'm not missing the mark anymore, because I know what the truth is inside. Then there's nothing to forgive. I don't even have to give away forgiveness, because I am it. So to give and to receive are one in truth. The mind will always play with us and may trick us to think that we might experience lack, for example. I give something and then I have less of it. That is not the case. We can't experience lack when we give something that we receive at the same time, because we are all one. I hope I didn't confuse anyone by this extension. But luckily, if any confusion should arise, we can practice every hour. We are supposed to do that because these things do have to sink in. On the hour, truth will correct all errors in my mind. And I don't have to seek the truth. We don't have to look for the truth. We are the truth. We only have to recognize it again. It was always there inside. And when we know that, all errors are corrected. On the half hour, to give and to receive are one in truth. A story comes to, a parable comes to mind that I heard in different versions throughout the years. Many of you will recognize it. About giving and receiving are one in truth. What we experience inside, the attitude, what we are, that is also how we perceive others. So this story goes, a young newly married couple comes some time ago, maybe 2,000 years ago, maybe 500, doesn't matter. It's Buddhistic. It could be 2,500 years ago. But anyway, this newly married couple comes on, they are traveling in a simple way with all their luggage on a wagon drawn by an ox. And they come to this portal of a city with the walls around. And they ask a beggar, seemingly, but it is a wise old beggar, sitting there with his cane and asking, "Oh, you old man, please, could you tell us how are the people in this village?" And he answers, "Well, they are probably like the people in the village that you have left." "How are they?" "Oh, they were greedy and stingy, and they were gossipy, and they were awful in every way you can imagine." "Oh, well," the old man says, "I think you will experience the people, the inhabitants of this town, the same. They will be the same." A few days passes, and another newly married couple comes on their chariot, drawn by an ox, another ox perhaps, and with all the luggage. And they ask the same question. "Please, old man, we will live here now. How are the people in this place, in this city?" "Well, how were the people in the village that you have left?" "They were wonderful and generous and helpful and kind in every aspect that you can imagine." The answer, you will find the people in this town the same. So that is a story, a parable that comes to mind. To give and to receive are one in truth. We experience the world from the awareness and the attitude we have towards the world. Thank you for stopping by. It's a joy, a pleasure to read this out loud and know that you are listening. Thank you very much and see you soon.